In the bustling town of Eldoria, where the bustle of markets met the imposing silence of aged oak forests, lived a young man whose presence was unassuming to the townsfolk. His name was Aidan, a leather worker by day and a fierce protector by night. He harbored a secret, a demonic power that lay dormant within, that only he could command. Raised by his grandmother after the tragic loss of his parents, Aidan was imbued with a deep sense of justice. His parents had perished at the hands of a tyrant's guards while shielding a family from wrongful punishment. It was in grief and fury that the demonic power awoke within him, a gift from his ancestral lineage that often skipped generations. Despite the dark nature of his power, Aidan chose to wield it for good. He had learned early that embracing this power could either corrupt him or be the beacon of change the oppressed needed. The villagers, long suffering under the thumb of a corrupt governor, were desperate for relief. High taxes and the vanquishing of dissenters left many destitute and fearful. By day, Aidan appeared as any other young man in Eldoria, crafting leather goods with skill and precision. By night, disguised beneath a hooded cloak, he hunted the henchmen of corruption. When Aidan invoked his demonic power, his eyes would glow with an eerie violet hue, and shadows themselves seemed to respond to his will. His abilities allowed him to manipulate darkness, making him nearly invisible and enabling him to incapacitate foes without trace. Word of an enigmatic avenger spread amongst the oppressed, though Aidan was careful to conceal his true identity. Those who encountered his efforts spoke in hushed tones, weaving stories that painted him as a mythic savior rather than a mortal man. The whispered tales gave hope to the destitute, igniting a silent revolution. Over time, Aidan's mission grew perilous, as the governor sought desperately to unmask the vigilante and put an end to the disruptions. However, Aidan remained elusive, using his powers not only to fight directly, but also to forge unlikely alliances with others driven by a similar cause. Through tireless efforts, Aidan's small acts of defiance accumulated into waves of change. Overthrowing the corrupt regime wasn't just the end game. It was about inspiring the townsfolk to believe they could reclaim their own freedom. In a hidden corner of Eldoria, the demonic power slowly became synonymous not with fear or malevolence, but with hope and liberty. Aidan realized that sometimes light and dark must intertwine to set the world right.